Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Janelle Frost, and I'm the Director for Michigan Hands and Voices. And I'm here along with Patty, and she's going to introduce herself in a second here. We are so excited about starting this online Basic 1 advocacy training with you and can't wait to meet all of you. And we're going to start with a little welcome and some announcements.
Hello, like Janelle said, I'm Tabby Bellhorn. I am the director for Ohio Hands and Voices and the ASTRa coordinator here in Ohio. We're so excited to be presenting ASTRa together, Michigan and Ohio with you, and our first online ever workshop. So we wanted to go ahead and get you some information to get you started on this course for the next 6 weeks. Excuse me. So if you are not familiar with Hands and Voices, we just wanted to share a little bit about who we are and what we do. We are, a cornerstone for our support is to provide unbiased support for families. And we support families who have children who have a unilateral hearing loss, a bilateral hearing loss, any kind of hearing loss, a sensory neural or conductive or mixed. We support families who have children who use spoken English, spoken language, who use American Sign Language, or a combination anywhere in between. We really believe that parents are the best advocates for their child, and we want to help parents become who they can be for their child. Our motto, which I love, is what works for the child is what makes the choice right, and we really support that 100%. We have right now throughout the nation, so there is a national Hands and Voices, our Hands and Voices headquarters, and throughout the nation there are over 40 approved chapters right now. Almost every state in America has a chapter, which I think is amazing. Michigan obviously has a chapter, and Ohio has a chapter. There are also another program that Hands and Voices runs is called Guide by Your Side. There are over 20 chapters who have a Guide by Your Side program. And right now there are over 10 chapters that have ASTRa programs as well, providing workshops just like we are today. We wanted to tell you a little bit about ASTRa and the values of why we're here. And the program. So ASTRa is, every state who has an ASTRa program teaches the same curriculum. So if you take this training in Ohio, or if you take this training in Nebraska, you will be receiving the same information. ASTRa is designed, the content is designed around IDEA and federal regulations. So it's not state-specific content. You will hear throughout the course of our series with Janelle and I, we will give you some state-specific information. And we will be sure to note if it's in Michigan or Ohio, because there are some differences within our states. Within our program though, within the ASTRa program, sorry, I'm just having a hard time reading my screen. It's a little small. You know, I have these old eyes too. Let me make this a little bigger here. Okay, so all of our ASTRa advocates and trainers are committed to the Hands and Voices philosophy, that unbiased philosophy that I talked about earlier, including, this unbiased support and parent and professional collaboration. And this is really key within ASTRa as we go into IEP meetings and help parents become advocates, is really about, we focus on the teamwork and working together and not trying to really overcome this, this kind of fight and battle mentality. We really know that working together helps get our children the services that they need. We have an uncompromised commitment to supporting families according to their unique needs, priorities, and values. And this is regardless of where they live, their communication and language choice, without bias, and a place across all school placements as well. Within our ASTRa program, we may be advocating for families who have a child placed at the school for the deaf, and then the next day we may be advocating for a child who is in a spoken language program. So our advocates are trained to support all families and all children.
Can
We
I add
believe that
something?
empowered families can learn. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, go
Patty?
ahead.
Yeah, I just want to really add that, and I didn't realize you were going to still talk about the slide. I thought you were going to move on, Tabby, so I'm sorry about interrupting. But I wanted to really add that a big value of ours is making sure that we're collecting the right data, and that really helps our everybody become a good team, and kind of really supports that non-biased support. We're going to look at what that child is saying and what works best for them, no matter what we're thinking in our heads, or somebody else coming in with a different notion. You know, that's really a key, I think, foundation of the ASTRa program, is helping our families understand the data, and the professionals that are working with them as well, to understand what that data is showing and meaning.
Great. Yes, thank you. And lastly, we just, supporting collaboration with other agencies. So our state parent training and information center, or other advocacy organizations. I know we have different organizations across Ohio, and we love to all work together with those agencies and advocates as well. Some goals of the program, of the ASTRa program as a whole, to empower parents in their child's IEP process. So, a lot of that is just educating parents of, number one, their rights. Parents' rights can be really confusing and overwhelming. Helping to influence and transform common dynamics of IEP meetings. So as we said, really working together. And as a program ourselves, we look to identify a group of highly skilled advocates that are specific to our demographics. We offer something really unique in having advocates that are trained to work with deaf and hard of hearing with that specific disability. Many advocacy organizations will work with families and children of all disabilities, so we offer that very specific content knowledge. The ASTRa program evolved because over the years, Hands and Voices chapters were providing advocacy training for family, or providing advocacy and trainings for families. And this ASTRa program really put all of that together and made sure that we're offering a consistent curriculum. And then lastly, really here to the ASTRa program expands and accelerates the development of trained parents and educational advocates. So there's a lot of information and content that we are going to cover in the next 6 or 7 weeks. And it's really a jump start for parents and anybody who wants to advocate for children. The ASTRa program has 3 basic structures. What we are doing over this next 6 weeks is our basic training. So ASTRa basic training is open to any individual who wants to increase their skills or knowledge. This can be parents, it can be any family member, it can be professionals, it can be anybody within the community who wants to learn about the uniqueness of the needs of deaf and hard of hearing students. The next level training is our advocate training. So this would be our level 2 training. And this training is offered only to people who will become ASTRa advocates for their chapter. So this is more of a closed session. And I know sometimes, we do within Ohio, we're adding advocates often. Janelle probably is too in Michigan. So this is that specific training to become an ASTRa advocate. And then lastly, that 3rd level is a train the trainer module. And this is for anybody who wants to train other parents and professionals. So this would be somebody who is an official representative of Hands and Voices headquarters and conducting trainings across the nation. All right, so you will see on your registration form, I don't know if you remember, we had a link where you could buy the Advocacy Support and Training book. So our training here, or I'm sorry, our book here, it really is a supplement to the training that we will be giving you. We will send a link out to you again if you have not had a chance to order that book. I would highly suggest that you order it. It has some of the same information, but it also has additional information. And these are the chapters within the book that you will see. Within our 6 weeks, we will cover mostly this first 7 chapters there, just so you know. So an introduction to special education, special considerations, eligibility, assessments and evaluations, IEPs, a lot of content. It's really rich. And then we're going to go ahead and introduce ourselves a little bit more as well before we get started. And Janelle, I'm going to go ahead and let you talk. I feel like I've been talking forever. So Janelle, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yes. Tammy, can you hear me okay? Because I just want to make sure my internet's working all right. Okay.
I can, yes.
Okay, great. All right, yes. So actually, Tammy and I kind of hold a similar position where we both do run the ASTRa programs in our state. So I've been ASTRa coordinator for the past 3 years and the director for Michigan Hands and Voices for the past 7 years now, 5 with officially. So, but I will tell you a little bit about why I'm actually doing this. I do have 4 children, and my 3rd child, who is 18 now. Yes, I can't believe he's 18. Soon to be moving on to a new part of our lives. He is what we call deaf plus. So he has a hearing loss plus some visual issues and some sensory memory processing issues. So we really came into the new world of the deaf community and hearing loss community when he was first born, or about 4 months old when we found out, and really kind of embraced that process and have learned along the way so many great things. And throughout his education, I can say that we've run into quite a few things that were kind of frustrating. And when he was around 7, I found Hands and Voices in Michigan and became a guide for them. So Abby had mentioned the Guide by Your Side program. I started out as a guide and really enjoyed being able to reach out to other parents and share, just be able to share what I learned. And that was helpful because when we first started in this, there was not a guide program when we were little, or when my son was little. So after I got into that, several years went by and I saw that Hands and Voices had the ASTRa program started. I thought, oh my goodness, this is great. This was already something that I had been working on with families and professionals, kind of like, you just can't help but to help one another. We are such a tight-knit community because there are, not many of our children have hearing loss. So we really kind of bond, and once we meet someone else, we want to share what we have or what we've learned along the way. So I started actually probably helping families out, I would say about when my son was 10. So probably about 8 years now, just doing that, and then was so excited when Hands and Voices came out with the ASTRa program and had a very structured program that I could follow and that I could also help others follow. So that's why I'm here today. I love being able to share this information. It seems like it's made my life much easier, and I'm hoping that it'll make those that are attending the session much easier as well. And hopefully we can build some relationships along the way, and we can support one another outside of the session too.
Great, thank you, Janelle. So I actually have kind of a similar story to Janelle. We're kind of in similar places within our lives. So yes, professionally, as I mentioned, I'm the director for Ohio Hands and Voices and the ASTRa coordinator. I do have 3 kids, and my oldest is deaf. She also is 18 and will be graduating this year. So we're in that similar phase of life and experiencing, whoa, what happens after high school? In fact, my daughter, I don't know if your son has yet, but my daughter turned 18 in December. And so already I'm like, well, technically, I don't have any rights here. So it's a little bit scary to really have been the advocate and now turning it over. And I trust her. She's actually a really great self-advocate. I couldn't be more proud of her, but it's still scary to let go as a parent. But so I actually started my journey helping parents in my gosh, 2005. So, woo, that's 15 years ago now. I
Mhm.
started as the parent mentor at the Ohio School for the Deaf. And that's really where my love of advocacy began. Really, it was, helping parents and attending IEP meetings and just really being able to support them through that process. And becoming an advocate for others made me improved my skills so much, made me a better advocate, in turn making my child the great self-advocate that she is. And so I really want families to experience that same, have that same experience and feel empowered, and that they can make the choice that's right for their child, because there's so much information and so many options. How do we know what is the right, the quote unquote, the right decision? So I've worked at OSD as a parent mentor. I have also worked at the Ohio Center for Deafblind Education as the family information specialist. And I've been involved as a founding member for Ohio Hands and Voices, as a founding board member, the president, and then moved into the executive director and ASTRa role. So advocacy, my heart is really in advocacy. It's part of my favorite job to do. So that's what, Janelle and I both love it, which is why we team up to do this. And yeah, so if you have other questions about us, please feel free. You will get to know us more along the way, I am sure. We have, quite a bit of time that we're going to be spending together. And so we also just wanted to, because this is new for us as well, as this is our first online series of ASTRA workshops, we just wanted to go over kind of what this is going to look like. So each week we will be presenting, either Janelle or I will be presenting the content to you. And so we'll be meeting from 8 p.m. until 9:30. That first hour from 8 to 9 will be kind of the content and the lecture per se part of the training. And then the last 30 minutes will be a question and answer time, which will be optional for you. We do encourage you to stay and throughout, during that first hour, write down all of your questions. We are really excited about that discussion time, because it's something that in a regular workshop, we don't have time to do, because we have 8 hours that we're trying to get through content. So it's very structured. So we're really looking forward to having this time to get to know everybody. We will send out in an email, if you haven't received it yet, you will be receiving it, a copy of the agenda and what each week looks like and what the PowerPoint or the presentation will be focused on that week. We also added, just so you know, on February 24th, it's kind of a bonus session in which we'll be talking about the IEP meeting planning and tool. We would really encourage you to stay and come back and participate. We're going to make that last session very interactive, and there'll be some homework before that session, but it shouldn't be overwhelming. It should be fun, as I say, as the advocate, right? So there'll be just a little bit of homework throughout the time as well. You may have received an email already. If you have not, you will be receiving it. Your very first homework assignment, if you could please, would be to reply to there's a link on that email about your needs for ADA accommodations or interpreting. So we just want to confirm who may need interpreted sign language interpreting, number one. And then the second part of that homework would be, there's a pretest on there. So don't worry, we won't know if there's no pass or fail. We just really want to use this as a measurement. So before starting ASTRA and then after. So you'll take that same test again at the end of our series. Let's see, we did talk about the book already. Just to let you know as well, our sessions, we are not recording them. So we do encourage you to be here each week from 8 to 9 in order to receive your training certificate that says, I've completed the whole Level 1 ASTRA workshop. You will need to attend every session from 8 to 9 to get that. And let's see, lastly, if you haven't had a chance to do so yet, you'll want to make sure that you download Zoom. You can either do that to your computer, your tablet, or your phone, and then you'll get familiar. If you haven't used Zoom before, we will give you some tips to kind of help you through that. Just real quick, a couple things to share with you. We will have participants muted during that first hour. mostly just to keep the background noise down. You know, like my dogs are here. I'm actually super excited. They've been really quiet the whole time today. So, you know, we just want to keep that noise level down. You will have the option, if you do have a question during that time, you can raise your hand or you can use the chat box, in which we can then take questions as well. So anything else that you want to add, kind of housekeeping items, Janelle? I think I got it all.
Yeah, you know, I just want to add to make sure to take that pre-test. That's really important for us for future classes that we can offer in funding in order to know, you know, how we're doing, and to let our funders know, you know, how, if this is successful or not. It's very important. So please make sure to take that pre-test. And if you haven't gotten the book, order the book. It will be helpful for the course and actually for future use. I think that's you know, a very great tool. And also, I wanted to quick mention, Tabby, that we mentioned IEPs, but we didn't really mention 504s. And I know I do have some individuals attending that have their children that have 504s. We will be discussing information relevant to 504s as well. So I didn't want you to feel like you're in the wrong session. That will definitely be discussed, and we will go over both of those, the IEP and 504.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you for pointing that out, Janelle. Yes, we will include that as well. So, so we're just, you know, we're really excited about working with you over the next 6 or 7 weeks. Please keep in check, you know, keep an eye on your email. We will make sure that we send out again the link for you to sign in on Monday evening. You might want to, if this is the first time you've used Zoom, sign in just a little bit early, you know, 10 or 15 minutes, so we can make sure that everything is working well. And if you have any questions about it, we can help you through that as well. So we are so excited, and we will see you Monday evening at 8 p.m. That's Monday, January 13th. All right. Thank you so much. Have a great week. Bye.
All right. Bye, everyone. See you then.